Hi everyone, welcome to today's session on problem solving using programming in C. So let's wait for a few more minutes so that everyone can join, and then we will start the session. So hi everyone, let's start today's session. Am I audible? Please confirm by tapping in the chat box. Can anyone just confirm by typing in the chat box whether I'm audible or not? Great. So I'm Rupesh Kumar. Let me just do one thing first. Hmm. So, hi everyone, is my screen visible? Please confirm by typing in the chat box if my screen is visible. Great. So, welcome to today's session on problem solving through programming in C. So, we are having these tutorial sessions every week, every week. So, I take the sessions on Fridays, 6 to 8 p.m. So, I'm Rupesh Kumar. So, and today is 7th Feb 2025. So, a brief introduction about all the how we will be holding this session. So basically, all the any queries if you have, your queries have to come to me via the chat box. You have to type in the chat box if you have any queries. Someone is saying my voice is lagging. Is that the case for everyone? Anyone else? Please confirm. Is there some network issue? Am I not? Are there any lag? Is there any lag between my voice? Hello. Great. So I guess. Whoever is facing this issue, Ritesh Kumar Mishra, I guess there is uh, some interruption in the network on your side. So please check that. So yeah, so all the queries that you have to ask me will be through the chat box. You have to type all the queries via the chat box. I am fine, and do not spam the chat. If you have a query, just type in the chat box. Wait for a few minutes, and if I don't respond to them after a few minutes, then you can ask me again. So don't spam the chat box. Fine. The recording to this session will be shared with you guys by the NPTEL team, and the document that I have shared here, shared on the screen, that I have shared on the screen will be made accessible to you guys by the NPTEL team. Fine. So this session comprises of some MCQ questions and some programming questions that I'll be solving for you guys. So the pattern will be like this. I will take up one question, expect some answer from you guys. Then we will discuss why that solution is correct or incorrect. And then I will ask you guys for some queries if you have any query. If you don't, then we'll proceed to the next question. So this is how we'll be holding on these sessions. Fine. So let's start. Great. Hmm. So I hope in this so during this week, I hope every one of you have gone through the NPTEL video lectures. If you haven't, then please go back and look at those lectures. Then only you'll be able to then only you will to able to understand the topics and the concepts that are covered during this session. Fine. So please make sure you have gone through all the video lectures that were shared for this week by the NPTEL team. Fine. So in this week, you were taught about some arithmetic operators and logical operators. So we'll be looking at these operators, how to use operators, and then the if statement, if else statement. Fine. So before starting with solving the problems, just a final confirmation. Am I audible? Is my screen visible? Can you see the text displayed on the screen? Fine. So let's start. So let's go ahead with the question number one. Which of the following statement is correct? Operator president determines which operator is performed first in an expression with more than one operator with different precedence. Associativity is used when two operators of same precedence appear in an expression. The second option is operator associativity determines which operator is performed first in an expression with more than one operator with different associativity. Precedence used when two operators of the same precedence appear in the expression. Um, operator precedence and associativity are same, none of the above. So before solving this problem, let's look at the terms that are asked that are discussed here. So one is operator precedence, and the one is associativity of the operators. So what do you mean by this? So every one of you, are you familiar with this Woodmass rule? Fine. So why did we need this Woodmass rule? So what was the origin of this rule? So let's get back to that. So let's say we have some mathematical expression, arithmetic expression that goes something like this, like x equals to 2 plus 3 divided by 4 multiplied by 6 minus 8 minus 9 plus 10, something like this. Fine. So how would you solve this expression using Bodemas rule? Every one of you know this. Like, let's say if you don't follow the Bodemas rule, then there are an multiple ways to solve these equations, solve this arithmetic expression, and you will get different results. For let's say if I compute 2 plus 3 5 first, then divide by 4, and then what is 5 by 4? 1 point. Let's say we are talking integer arithmetic, then 1 into 6 minus 9 plus 10. So it will become 7. Fine. Now, if you follow the Bodmas rule, then what would you get? What would be the result? The result will be something like this. First, you evaluate this term 3 by 4, that would be 0, then multiply it 0, then 12 minus 9, approximately 3. Fine. So if you follow the Bodmas rule, why do we need this Bodmas rule? Bodmas rule removes any ambiguity in evaluating these expressions. So basically, there is a rule that tells which equation to evaluate, which operator to evaluate first in an expression containing multiple operators. Fine. Similar to this, we have operator precedence and associativity rules in programming, C programming language. So the operator precedence tells if in an expression multiple operators are there, precedence tells us whether which operator will be evaluated first. And the second term is associativity. Associativity tells us if two operators with same precedence are present in an expression, then which one to execute first, evaluate first. Fine, everyone, do you get this idea? So basically, precedence tells us whether which operator will be evaluated first. If there are multiple operators in an expression, depending upon the precedence of those operators. And then associativity tells us if two operators with the same precedence are present in an expression, then what do we have to do? So let's say if there are two operators which have the same precedence and both of them are present in an expression, then what you have to do? Then you have to follow the associativity rule, which tells which operator to evaluate first in that case. So for example, let's look at this website that gives us the C operator precedence table. So everyone, can you look at this table? Is this visible? So this is the operator precedence table in C. Hello everyone. Can anyone confirm if you are able to see this operator precedence table? Fine. So it tells us like the highest precedence is given to the binary increment and decrement operator, then a function call, then array substring, and so on. And then you can see prefix increment and decrement, and then unary plus and minus operators. And then finally, you can see the multiplication, division, and remainder operators, then addition and subtraction operators, and so on. Fine. So this, when you go through this table from top to bottom, fine, that gives you the operator precedence. This means this increment decrement operator plus plus minus minus, which is the postfix operator, has a greater higher precedence than the prefix increment decrement operator. This means basically if in an expression, if you observe there are two operators, one is postfix increment, one is prefix increment, then the postfix increment will be evaluated first. Fine. Now, if you go to this row 3, here you can see there are three operators: multiplication, division, and remainder, which are having the same precedence. Then what you have to do, if you observe that these three operators are present in a line with the same precedence, so in this case, the you will check the associativity rule. What does associativity rule tells? In an expression, if these operators come in a single line, then that operator will have higher precedence, which is following this associativity rule left to right. So basically the left one will have a higher precedence than the operator on the right side. Fine. So for example, let's say we have expression 2 plus 3 modulo 6 minus 10 divided by 4 plus 9 into 2, something like this. Fine. Let's say we have this expression. Then what does operator precedence tells? Operator precedence tells that these three operations have to be carried out first. So these have higher precedence, so they have to be carried out first. That is 3 modulo 6, then 10 divided by 4, and then 9 into 2. So these three operators have higher precedence than the binary plus and minus operator. So these operations have to be evaluated first. Now the next question is, all these three operators, that is this modulo, division, and multiplication, have the same precedence, and they all lie in the same expression. Then what you have to do? You have to follow the left to right associativity, which means go start reading the expression from the left hand side. So this is the left hand side. This is the left hand side of the expression. So start reading the operators from the left hand side. The operator that comes first will have the highest precedence. So in this case, modulo comes first from the left hand side. So the modulo or the remainder operator will be evaluated first. So this expression will be evaluated something like this: 2 plus 3 modulo 6 is basically 3. Hmm. Hmm. Then minus 10 divided by 4 plus 9 into 2. Fine. Now, again, this division and this multiplication have higher precedence, and they both have the same precedence in this line. So again, start reading the expression from the left and you will observe that the division has a higher precedence because it comes first. So you evaluate this block first then. So you get 2 plus 3 minus 10 by 4 is 2.5 plus finally 9 into 2. Now you know that multiplication has a higher precedence. So simply you can write 18 here after evaluating this. Now plus minus, binary plus minus have same precedence. So follow the associativity rule. What does it say? For addition and subtraction, we have to follow the left to right associativity. Fine, everyone. So for plus and minus, we follow the left to right associativity. So we go back here. So left associativity means this plus will be evaluated plus. So 2 plus 3 would be 5. So first evaluate this. Then the next one will be this because left to right associativity. And finally this. So just solve these brackets and you will get the answer. So it will be 2 plus 3, 5 minus 2.5 plus 18. Just solve this. This is 2.5 plus 18, which is equals to 20.5. Fine, everyone. Do you understand this? Hello, am I audible? So do you get the idea of this operator, precedence, and associativity? Do you understand the difference between these two? Fine. So let's go back and look at these options and solve these. So which of the following statements is correct? So we have to look for the correct statement. So operator precedence determines which operator is performed first in an expression with more than one operator with different precedence. That is true. Then again, associativity is used when two operators of the same precedence appear in the expression. That's also true. So option A is correct. Fine. Anyone, if you have any doubts, type in the chat box. Fine. Great. So let's move on to the next question. Question number 2. Find the output of the following C code. Fine. So we already saw some, I wrote some C programs for you guys in the previous session. So by now, I hope everyone of you is familiar with this idea of C programs. So how to write them? First, you are including the standard IO library. Fine. So in the first line, you are including the standard IO library. What does it contain? It contains the standard functions useful for printing and reading input from the user. So standard IO libraries, it contains the functions such as printf and scanf. So basically hashtag, it tells the compiler that this is a preprocessor directive. So you have to include the code present in this file before starting start to compile this program. Fine. In the next line, you can see we have a void main. So void tells us that the function returns nothing. So it's a void type of function. The return time is void. And then the main function. Main function is required. So whenever you want to write a program to execute something, you need the main function. It is the function that is accessed by the OS while executing the executable. Fine. Now we use curly braces in C programming language to define a block. What is a block? Block is something that gets executed within that block essentially contains a code section that gets executed that gets executed when the function is called. So this is the function body. So inside the function, we have written something, and these lines will be executed when this function will be called. Fine. So yeah. So in this line, you can see we are declaring, initializing, and as well as declaring and initializing some values in so first word in this first token is this token. Int token is used to define that the variables that I'm going to specify after this token belong to the integer data type. Fine, they will store integer values. Then the first variable I declare and initialize is a, and the value I assign is 50 using the assignment operator equals to. So to is the assignment operator in C programming language. So whenever you want to assign some value to a variable, let's say we have variable integer x, and if you want to assign some value to it, you can use equals to operator x equals to 20. So it will simply assign the value. Fine. Then again, another variable b of type integer has been created, and a value of 20 is assigned to it. Similarly, c with the value 6, d with the value 3. And finally, we are declaring a variable result, and we haven't initialized any value to this variable. Fine. So everyone, do you understand this statement? Great. So I hope by now you are able to understand these lines. So now what I'm doing, I'm assigning a value to the variable result. And what is the value that is being assigned using the assignment operator? So, first of all, let's look at this expression. Fine. So everyone, can you see how many operators are here? So let's start from the left. So first we have this assignment operator equals to. Fine. So first this is equals to operator. Then you get this plus operator, then multiplication operator, and this my unary minus operator. Then this is the division operator. This is modulo or remainder operator. And then this is the multiplication operator. Everyone, do you follow this? That these many operators are there in this statement. So total 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Eight operators are total. A total of 8 operators are present in a single line of this C expression. So what do we need to do? We need to refer to the precedence table to determine which operator has to be evaluated first. So let's go back to that page. So when you go to this page, you see there is a when you so let's start from the left and start defining the operator precedence. So what is the precedence of the equals to operator? So let's just make a table in make a list of these operators and then arrange in the order of decreasing precedence. So I will write the operator that has the highest precedence at the top. Fine. So when you look at all these operators, the operators that have the highest precedence are, and I'll be using these brackets to club in the operators having same precedence. Fine. So the highest ones are unary minus, I guess. Yeah, unary minus has the highest precedence. Fine. Then let's call it unary, unary minus, and then we have multiplication, division, and modulo operator. Modulo is basically the remainder operator. It gives you the remainder of an extra division operation. Fine. Then we have plus, comma plus. Fine. And then Finally, you have the equals to operator. Fine. So if you look at these operators, these brackets, so let's divide them based on their precedence values. Okay. So unary minus has the highest precedence. So let's write this here. Precedence highest to lowest. Fine. So unary minus has the highest precedence. So you can go back and look at the precedence level. You will find the same pattern. So unary minus has the highest precedence. Then multiplication, division, and modulo. Then there are two plus operations, binary additions, and then assignment equals to operators. So now in the brackets where we have multiple operators, let's write their precedence on the right hand side, going from the highest precedence to the lowest precedence. Fine. So, and we know that these follow left associativity. So for sure, multiplication will have the highest precedence, then division, and then finally the modulo operator here. And in this bracket, the left plus will have the higher precedence than the right plus, and that's it. This is how I'll be evaluating these expressions. So let's extract this expression and start solving this. Fine. So let's use brackets, small brackets, to determine the expression that will be evaluated at first. Fine. So yeah. So I'll be using brackets, and whenever I'm using bracket, this means the value present in that bracket have to be evaluated first. So let's follow the precedence order. So it is minus b. So this is the unary negative. So the first operator precedence. Fine. Then we have this leftmost multiplication operator because it has the highest precedence due to the associativity. Then the next operator is this division operator. Depending on this is purely based on the associativity. Then finally this modulo operator. So again, this has the least associative precedence among all these operators. Then this is multiplication operator. Fine. Then you evaluate the first addition, and then you evaluate the last addition. And finally, after you have done this, you will evaluate this assignment operation. So the final value to the result will be assigned. So let's go ahead and do this. The value of A is 50. So we have to evaluate 50 plus 50 into minus B is basically 20. 50 into minus 20. Then divided by C. C is 6. Then modulo D. D is 3. Then plus C into D, which is 6 into 3. 3. Let's solve this. Okay. So what is the value? It is 50 plus 50 into minus 20, which is minus 1000. So it is minus 5 to the 10, 0, 0 divided by 6. Then overall modulo 3 plus 18. Fine. Which is, so note that we are doing integer arithmetic, so there will be no decimals, only quotients, which will be the result of this division. So 1000 by 6 would be 6 1 just 6, 46, 36, 40, 166 here, modulo 3 plus 18, which is equals to 3, 5, 15, 160. Remainder 1. So 50 minus 1 plus 18, which is equals to 67. So the correct answer is 67. Everyone, is this clear? How did I solve this problem? So basically, I extracted all the operators here and then wrote down a precedence list and then used that precedence to solve this problem. Fine. If you have any doubts, please type in the chat box. If you have any doubts, please type in the chat box. So, Steven, where you have doubt, which last step? So, this step, Steven, you have doubt in this step, please confirm so that I can answer your query. Oh, 166 modulo 3. So basically, when you divide 166 by 3, divided by 3, you get some value. So you get some quotient and remainder. So the quotient is something like 50, 3 5s are 15, 1 5, 3 5s are 15. And then this is the quotient. So 3 into this plus 1. So the 1 is the remainder. So I have 15 minus 16. Fine. So, Steven, are you getting this operation? So you can write 166 divided by 3 as 55 multiplied by 3 plus 1, where 55 is the quotient and 1 is the remainder. Steven, do you get this? So, Steven, can you confirm if you are able to listen, hear me? Am I audible? So yeah, so are you able to understand this? 166 by 3 can be written as 55 into 3 plus 1, where 55 is the quotient of the division and 1 is the remainder. So when you do this modulo operator, it returns the remainder, which is 1 here. Fine. Great. So anyone else, do you have any doubts? Please type in the chat box. Shaurya, you're saying can't understand. So what is the issue that you are facing here? 166 modulo 3. So modulo is the remainder operator basically. So whenever you divide this integer by this integer, you get a quotient of 55 and a remainder of 1. So this operation results in the value 1. So 166 modulo 3 is 1. Do you get this? Do you understand this? So Shaurya, the remainder that will be left will be written here. Yes. Fine. So let's proceed to the next question. So question number 3. So what will be the output of this program? So I hope by now I don't need to explain each and every detail of this program, and you will be able to answer this question. So what will be the output of this program? So you are including the standard IO library, then declaring the main function, and in the main function we have this block. So anything present in this block will be executed, which is present in the body of the program. Fine. So anyone? So are you guys familiar with this uh, logical operators in C? So let me give you a brief overview. So are you guys familiar with the logical operators? Great. So let's solve this. So basically, these are logical operators. So I don't think this website is opening. So I got what I needed. Okay. Hmm. Fine. So we saw this assignment operator. Then we saw this arithmetic operators. Fine. So these are the arithmetic operators. Then these are the arithmetic rules so that you all have seen. So these are the logical operators. Fine. So what are logical operators? Okay. So logical operators check the logic. So we have two operators, logical and logical OR. So let's look at this. See. So this is logical AND, that is denoted by double ampersands, and logical OR, which is denoted by two single lines. Fine. Now, how these are useful, how to use them. So these are binary operators. So what are these? Binary operators. That means act on two operands. Fine. So let's look at the operation of logical AND. How does it work? Let's say I am saying a condition is true and true. So val1 and val2. Fine. So these operators work on Boolean values basically. So they work on Boolean values. What are Booleans? I hope you know true, false values. Any variable that can store true or false value is called a Boolean variable. And these operators work on the Boolean values. So let's see. Let's say we have Boolean value 1, val1, and we use the logical AND operation val2. Fine. So what will the output of this operator? So it basically returns true if both the operands are true, else false. Fine. So if both the values val1 and val2 are true, then it will be returning true. Otherwise, it will be returning false. What is the logical OR? It again uses uh, two Boolean operators, operands, and then it returns true if at least one of the operands are true. So basically, if any one of the operand is true, it will return true. Both are true, then also it will return true. So this is the basic idea behind these logical operators. Then I hope, that's it. Fine. Now, whenever you are using this integers, you are passing integers with these logical operators, then what does this mean? So basically, whenever you use integers with logical operators, if the integer value is 0, it resembles Boolean false. And if the integer value is 1, then it resembles Boolean true. Any other value other than 0 is a true. Fine. So do you understand this, everyone? So basically, whenever you are using integers for storing integer in Boolean variables, then if the integer value is 0, then only the value will be false. Otherwise, the value will be true. Fine. Someone is saying screen is not visible. So anyone please confirm. If that's not the case, then the student who is not able to see the screen should be please check your internet connection. Fine. Great. So I hope now you understand the concept of these logical operators and then what is the meaning of using integer as a Boolean operator. So let's do this. So let's say I have variable bool x equals to 1. This means x will store true. If I say bool x equals to 11, then again x will store true. And if I say bool y equals to 0, then it will say y equals to false. And you can do this test yourself if you want to. So for example, so let me do the test. Fine. Test. So let's include IO. And inside the main block, let's declare some bool variables. Bool x, comma y. So if let's say x equals to 111 and then y equals to 0, let's see the values of these. Fine. So printf value stored in Boolean variable x is percentage b, and then change line. So backslash n is the change line operator. So you can use backslash n is an escape character in C language, which allows you to change line for any string. Then the value stored in Boolean variable y is percentage b. Fine. So now you have written your string that you want the printf function to print. You have provided the required format specifiers whenever you want to insert some other value from other data type that does not belong to the character class. So now what you can do, you can simply pass these for specified values, and then yeah, you are good to go. Fine. So let's compile it. GCC test bool.c. Okay, I guess C does not has bo- Boolean variables. C. Okay, so Aja, so I have to use this header file. So I forgot this. Yeah. So hashtag include std bool.h. So basically, if you want to use Boolean variables, you need to use this include this library. Hmm. Boolean format specifier. Okay. Okay, so there is no format specifier for Booleans. So we can simply see the integer values. If it's zero, then it is false. If it's one, it's true. So let's do this. GCC testbool.c. So you can see the value stored in the Boolean variable x is 1 and the variable y is 0. So although we assign the value of 11 to the Boolean variable x, you can see the values that get stored is 1. Fine, which means true. Fine, everyone. Do you understand the concept of Booleans? What if y plus 4? So what is the question, Peter? I don't get the question. So Peter, what is the question that you are trying to ask here? What if y? So y equals to 4. If y is a Boolean variable, then it will be 1. So I can show you this also. So let's say if I say y equals to 4 here, fine. So again, you can see the value stored in the Boolean variable y is 1 here. It's not 4. Is this visible? Fine. So let's solve this problem. Hmm. So now if minus 10 and 10, double ampersand 10. So Boolean value is either true or false value. That's it. In integers, it is 0 or 1. 0 means false, 1 means true. Fine. So what is the outcome of this operation? Minus 10 double ampersand 10. So minus 10 means true. Then again, plus 10 means true. So the result of this operation is true. Now for the OR, at least one of them has to be true. If the first one is true, for sure this the entire block inside the if, it means true. So this means true, condition is true. So if you have heard about this if statement, so if statements taken. So have you studied this if statements? What are if statements? So Boolean is basically a data type that stores true or false values. That's it. True means correct, false means wrong, or that's it. You understand the idea of true and false, right? So now there is some additional term here that we haven't seen before, I guess. So this is this if and else statements. So let me give a short introduction to these statements. If else statements. Right? So the syntax is like this: if, and then there is a small bracket where you pass in a condition, and then block. So basically, what is this block? Block of code that gets executed if the condition is true. Fine. So this is an if block. Now, if you attach an else block here, so this is the block of code that gets executed if the condition is false. Fine, everyone. So this is simple if else statement. It's a conditional statement that the syntax is like this. You write if, then you use the small brackets. In the small bracket, you write some condition. Fine. The condition has to return either true or false. Fine. If the condition is true, then some block of code will be executed that follows this if statement. If it's not true, the block of code that is present in the else block will be executed. So else is not compulsory. Fine. Let's say if you don't have any else block in your program, that's also fine. Fine. So the else statement is not required. It's not compulsory every time. You can use if you want it. You can leave it if you don't want it. Fine. So someone is asking any value other than 0 is true. Yeah, that's correct. Any value other than 0 is true. Even the negative integers are true. Fine. Only 0 resembles false. So let's get back to our problem. So if this condition or this condition, so if is this condition true, the condition is true. So what will be executed? The program, the block of code that is present inside the if block, or a line which is present just next to the if block. So it will print condition is true. So option A is correct. Option A. Fine, everyone. You understand this? Everyone, do you get this answer? Why option A is correct? If you have any doubts, type in the chat box or we can proceed. Condition, you did not understand condition. So what is condition? Condition is any statement in the C program that returns either true or false. Fine. So let's say condition can be anything. Let's say, so basically condition is a Boolean value. Condition is a Boolean value. That's it. Fine. So it can be either true, it can be either 1 or 0. 1 means true, 0 means false. Now, if the condition is true, then the if block is gets executed. That's the meaning of a condition. Fine. So condition can be any expression that returns either true or false. It can be any operation, operand, it can be any operator that returns true or false. It can be an expression that returns true or false. It can be any function that returns true or false. So basically, it can be any small construct of C program that can return true or false. So, so Hale and Peter, is this clear? You understand the idea of condition? If you are not able to understand this example, fine. So let's solve this again. So let's say we have this expression. We want to get the final value of this expression. Fine. So we have this expression. We want to solve this expression. Fine. So let's first decide what are the operators in this expression. So we have this unary minus. Then we have this double ampersand, which is logical and. Then we have this or, logical or. Then again double ampersand, which is logical and. Then this unary minus. Fine, everyone. Do you get this? So are you able to define these operators? Fine. So now let's go to the left bracket that has to be executed first because it occurs left in the line. And let's look at its value. What will the value that is stored in this left bracket? So you can see there is one binary operator, which is the double ampersand, which is the logical AND operator. It takes two operands on the left hand side and the right hand side. One is -10, the other one is +10. And it returns a Boolean value. Fine. So what is the value? -10 and double 10 is basically means true or 1. Everyone, do you get this? Why this is 1 or true? Everyone? Peter, do you understand this? Fine. Now again, there is a logical OR operator. So logical OR says if either of the two statements are true, operands are true, then return true. So if the left hand side is true, then obviously it will return true. And if it's true, then the if block will be executed. That's the meaning of conditioning. Fine. Anyone, if you have any doubt, please type in the chat box. Great. Let's move on to the next question. So what is the output of the following program? Let's go back. So let's now just, I believe I just assume that you all know this main block here, and we will be just understanding what the program is present inside the main body of the main function. Fine. So let's focus on this function. this section of code. So in the first line, we are declaring a variable named I belonging to class to data type int. Fine. Now we have some if else construct here, and then we are getting something. So we all know if I equals to 0 to 3. See, fine. So now this is the condition statement. So let's get this condition statement. Condition is this. So what are the operators here? Operators involved. The operators are equals to, which is the assignment operator. Then this is two comma operators. So what is the meaning? What does these comma operators do? Fine. So let's go to the precedence table and see what they do. So first of all, the comma operator has the least precedence. Okay, everyone, can you say this? So yeah, I will be attending to the routes. So fine. So what does this comma operator does? So comma operator is used to separate the operands in C, and what it does is, so basically it has the least precedence in this. So the order of execution will be like this. First this will be executed, then this will be executed, and then this will be executed, and then comma will be working. And what comma does is, it evaluates the first operand here, then discards it, then the second, and then the third, and so on. Fine. So what is the value? What does this condition says? Condition says I equals to 0. Fine. So what does I equals to 0 says here? And then at the end, what it does, it returns the value at the last. Fine. So it evaluates I equals to 0. So basically I gets the value 0. Then it is discarded. Fine. Then we are left with two operands, 2 comma 3 with this comma operator. Then 2 is discarded, 2 is evaluated. So value of 2 is 2 and discarded. Finally, the value at the right hand side of the last value present is returned. Fine. So the value of condition variable condition becomes here. So condition is basically 3 in this case. Now 3 is an integer and 3 means true. So what it will be doing? It will be printing nptel. Fine. Fine. Then printf. We have a string. We want to print some string, and in the string we have a format specifier %d, that is for integer, and then we have a line change, and we are printing I. So I is being assigned the value 0. So it will be printing nptel space 0. So option A is correct. Everyone? Do you get this? Option B is correct. Everyone, do you understand this? What will we give as input? What is the input here? I don't get it. Is not logical equals to in if statement. No, this is assignment operator. Logical equals to is double equals to. That's not logical. It's relational. No, you are relating values. No. So option B is correct. So yeah, the first you are printing NPTL here. No, there is a printf statement here. And then finally, after this if else block is executed, then another printf statement here. This printf statement is printing 0 basically. I was assigned the value 0. So this printf statement is printing the value of I. So it is 0 here. Fine. So anyone else, do you have any doubts? So basically comma operator, what it does is it starts executing the evaluating the expressions from left to right and the rightmost values return. So if you have any doubt, please type in the chat box. Value of I. So why not NPTL 2 or 3? So it depends no, what value is being assigned to the variable I. So I'm saying this, what this comma operator does is it evaluates the value on the left hand side and the value on the right hand side is gets returned. Fine. So you evaluate the value I equals to 0. What does it say? It says the value of 0 is assigned to the variable I. Then it returns the value 2 comma 3. Now 2 is evaluated and the value on the left RHS 3 is returned. So that's why I has the value 0 and the condition value is 3, which is true. We should give some I value. What? So yeah, we are assigning the value. The value of I is being assigned in this statement itself. So basically what does comma do is it evaluates the expression on the left hand side and returns discards that the output of that expression and then returns the value on the right hand side. Fine. So do you get this, how it is working? So someone is saying we should give the values to I. So yeah, we are giving the value by evaluating this expression I equals to 0. We are assigning the value 0 to the variable I. Fine. Anyone, if you have any other doubt, please type in the chat box. So if you have any doubt, please type in the chat box. So what it means, it always executes right side value. So basically I am talking about the comma operator here. And what does comma operator do is it evaluates the value on the left hand side, the expression on the left hand side and returns the value expression present on the right hand side. That's it. That's what comma operator does. So if you're confused, what does this comma operator do? Just go back to the NPTEL lectures and you will get an answer there. Fine. Fine. Anyone, if you have any doubt, please type in the chat box. So let's move on to the next question. So what is the output of the C program given below? Let's directly jump into the code section that is present in the body of the function main. So in this program, there is one additional thing that you need to understand is before proceeding with this, the postfix increment operator. So are you familiar with this double plus operator? Anyone, do you want me to explain this or do you understand this? Fine. So this means you understand this. What it means is use the value of variable x, what it is holding now, and then increment the value from the next line. Fine. So what is the value x? The value that variable x is holding now, it is 0. Everyone, do you get this? So x equals to 0, and 0 means for booleans 0 means false. So this if block does not get executed, and the else part, else if x equals to 1. So what is double equals to operator? Everyone, do you understand this x double equals to operator? So basically, what is double equals to operator? Let's look at this operator. Double equals to operator. It's a relational operator. Operator returns true if the values, if the operands are equal. So for example, if I'm saying 1 equals to 1 means true, 1 equals to 2 means false. So this is what this double equals to operator do. So let's go back to our problem. So till here, the value of x was 0. So this if statement was false, if this condition was false, so if this program line present in the if block is not executed. Now in this line, x has the value 1. Now we are checking if x equals to 1. Is this true? Anyone? Can you tell me, is this condition true here or not? Great. So if this is true, you have to print false. So the correct answer is option B. Fine. Anyone, if you have any doubts in this program, please type in the chat box. Great. So let's move on to the next question. Again, we have a program. We want to see check the output. Fine. So let's dive into the main block. Inside the main function, we can find this function block. Fine. So in this line, we are declaring a variable x, not assigning any value to it. Now, x equals to 10 double equals to 20, not equals to 30. So before evaluating any expression involving multiple operators, what we do, what we have done till now, we write down the expression and separate out the operators present in that expression. So we have three operators here, and bound by now you are able to understand these operators. So not equals to basically means it's not equal to. Let's get to this. Means not equals to. For example, 1 is not equals to 1 is false and 1 is not equals to 2 is true. Fine. So I hope you understand the concept of not equals to. Then let's extract this operator. So we have three operators here. What are those? Equals to, double equals to, and not equals to. Let's go back to the precedence table and decide which operator will be executed first. Fine, everyone? Is this fine with you? Fine. So let's see. So the operator equal equals to and not equals to are having same precedence. And they have the higher precedence than the assignment equals to operator. Fine. So first of all, these two will be executed. And again, the next thing is what will be the associativity, because equals to and non equals to have same precedence. The associativity is left to right. So left one will be having the higher precedence. So let's go back. So first I will be executing double equals to because it's left. Then I will be executing the not equals to operator, and then I will be solving the equals to. So is 10 equals to 20? So this returns 0. Everyone please focus here. So x equals to 10 double equals to 0, 20, which returns 0 here, and not equals to 30. Now this 0 not equals to 30 gets executed, it gets evaluated, which says true, true means 1, so x gets the value 1. Fine, everyone? So the correct answer is option B. So we are printing the value of variable x. By now you are familiar with this format specifier and how we are passing the value to this printf function. Fine. So the correct answer is B. Fine. Anyone? If you have any doubt, please type in the chat box. So someone is saying, I don't understand. So what are you not able to understand? Can you please explain, elaborate your issue? Then I can help you out. Harish, please type in the chat box what you are not able to understand. Is this clear? Fine. So if you have any doubts, type in the chat box. If it is false, then x will be 0 else 1, right? I don't get it. What is false? What are you saying is false? A Bharadwaj, what do you mean by if it is false? What is false? I mean, how 10 is equals to 20? Now let's say it was 20 equals to 20. Then it was a different game. Then 10 20 equals to 20 is true. Then x equals to 1 not equals to 30. Again, x will get 1 because 1 is also not equals to 30. Fine. A Bharadwaj, do you understand this? If let's say it was 20 equals to 20, then again, so this would have been true. Then again, the value of x would have been 1. Why? Because 1 is also not equals to 30. What will be 0? X will always be 1. Yeah, x will be 1. Fine, Steven is asking, how did you get 1? So yeah, again, let's solve this expression again. So we extract all the operators that we have. So we have equals to, double equals to, and not equals to operators. So let's decide the precedence, the order in which they will be executed. The order is first double equals to will be executed. then not equals to will be executed, and then assignment equals to will be executed. So let's execute the double equals to operator. It has 0 on one side and 20 on the other side. 0 and 20 are not equal, so it will be returning false. False means 0, so it will be returning 0. Now let's execute the not equals to operator. The not equals to operator contains operators 0 and 30. So they are not equal, yes, so it will be returning true. Now finally execute the equals to operator, which will assign the value of 1 to the variable x. Now you will printing 1. So Steven, is this clear? Great. So let's move on to the next question. So what is the output of the following C code? So again, let's directly jump onto the function block, main block. So we are declaring a variable I. The integer variable y with value 10. Fine. Now again, we have some expression involving some complex arithmetic. So let's copy this expression and solve this. So this time I hope you guys will be helping me out in solving this expression. So we have integer z equals to z plus y in a bracket, you have equals to 10. So first, this bracket will be executed. Why? Let's go back to the so there is no precedence rule here. But yeah, these brackets are used to basically bracket is a function call. So basically, first this bracket will be executed. So y equals to 10. So the value of y is 10. So y equals to 10 is true. So which is 1. So z becomes y plus 1. So y plus 1 is 11. So option B is correct. Anyone, do you have any doubt? So this is the answer, option B. If you have any doubts, please type in the chat box. Great. If you have any doubts, please type in the chat box. It's simple arithmetic. Just solve it and you will get the answer. Fine. Now, one last, sir, I have a doubt. If x plus plus statement means value of x will be incremented by 1 after it passes in if block. No, it after it passes not the entire if block, from the next line onwards. The next line can be inside the if block, or if the if condition is false, then the next line would be the next line after the if block. It depends. It only means after this present line. That's it. Fine. Vansh, is this clear? Please confirm. Vansh, please confirm if this is clear. If this is clear, great. So, Steven, what doubt you have in this program? Please elaborate so that I can help you out. So what is the issue that you are facing here, Steven? So you have this expression, how 11 comes. So are you able to get that this is some expression? It involves three operators, equals to, plus, and double equals to. Now this y double equals to 10 will be evaluated. What is the value of y? The value of y is 10. So what does it mean to 10 equals to 10? So replace the value of y with 10. What is the result of evaluation of 10 double equals to 10? Steven, can you tell me? So this will be returning 1, no? Am I right, Steven? No, 10 double equals to 10 will return 1, no? Steven, are you getting this? This is double equals to operator. So it checks if the values are correct, same or not. If they are same, return 1. So it is returning 1. Now, what is the value of 10 plus 1? Which is 11. Did you get this now? Is this clear? Okay, great. So let's move on to the next question. So this is the last program that requires you to compute the output. So last two programs. After that, there are some practice programs that you can do on your own. So let's make this 10. Make this 8. And make this 9. Fine. So let's solve this problem again. So this time, I hope everyone who is familiar with each of the small constructs. Let's solve this directly. So int a equals to 0, b equals to 10. So we have two variables. A has value 0 and b has value 10. So it's straightforward. Anyone, please answer this. So the variable a contains 0 and variable b contains 10. Now we have this if condition. So what is the meaning of if a equals to 0? Equals to 0. So let's evaluate this condition. So what does it do? Assigns the value 0 to the variable a and returns the assigned value. Fine. So what does a equals to 0 means? A equals to 0 returns 0. So basically this statement returns 0. So what does if 0 means? This is equivalent to if 0. So if 0 is false, so you are not printing true, you are printing false. So the correct answer is print false. So this program will print false. Fine, everyone, do you get this? So Ritvik has some doubts. So let's go back. What does this if what you want to do? If you want to execute this if statement, you want to evaluate this expression, conditional expression here. Fine. So how will you evaluate this a equals to 0? Basically, this equal to is the assignment operator. It assigns the value on the RHS to the variable on the left hand side and returns the value that is being assigned. So it also returns 0 to the if variable, if condition here. Fine. Yeah. So anyone else, if you have any doubts, type in the chat box. Fine. I see no one has any doubts. So let's solve the next problem. So again, we have what is the output of the following program. So we have three integer variables x, y, z. Now x equals to y equals to z equals to 10. Anyone, can you tell me what will the value assigned to these variables x, y, and z respectively? So now z gets the value 10. What about x and y? Anyone? Great, 10. Why? Because this equals to assignment operator basically assigns the value 10 and then returns. So one more interesting thing is when you look at this simple assignment operator, it has the associativity right to left. So this means this equals to will be executed first, then that the returned value will be assigned to the variables y, and that will return value will be assigned to the variable x. So that's why all of these have the value 10. Everyone, do you get this? If you have any doubts. Great. So I hope none of you have any, no one has any doubts. So But till now, we were solving some programs, MCQ questions, where we were expected to predict the output. I mean, compute the output of the given program. Now I have some practice problems for you where I'll be writing C programs for you guys. So let's take a break for 5 minutes and let's meet at 7:41 and then we can resume there. If you have any doubts or queries, type in a chat box. So break for 5 minutes. Let's meet at 7:41. Hi everyone, welcome back. So let's resume this session. So I'll be solving some programming problems for you now. So this is a very simple programming problem. Write a C program to print hello world without using semicolon. So everyone of you is familiar with this idea of this semicolon, why it is required. It's the terminator for every expression in the C program. Everyone, are you familiar with this semicolon? So it's the terminator. It is required to terminate every sentence and every expression in the C program. So now what I'm asking you guys is to write a C program to print hello world, that too without using any semicolon. So let's do this. Void main. Fine. Now let's say if I use the printf statement simply and I want to print hello world. Fine. So I can do this, but it will require me to write this terminator to end this expression. Everyone, do you get this? So you will need to end this expression by this terminator. And what I want is I don't want to use any terminator in my program. Fine. So let's go ahead. First look at the output of this program, gcc ptn.c. You get some a dot out and you can see it is printing hello world. Fine. Now let's go back and fine. So let's see what can be done here. So it's a trick that you can use. So if you are using any if statement in your program, so you don't need to introduce any terminator because you can simply write a blank if statement. Fine. So when you compile this, fine. So you need to provide some condition here. So let's say if one, do nothing, just let it be. It will work. There will be no bugs in the program and your program has no semicolon till now. You have no terminator here. Now let's go ahead. And what I can do is I can simply printf hello world here. So now your program is printing hello world. So basically, before checking the Boolean value of the condition, the expression will be evaluated. Fine. And now, when you execute this program, you will see it will print hello world. Fine. So now I was successful in writing a C program that involves no terminators, and still it prints hello world. Fine. Anyone? Do you have any doubts? Great. So let's go to the next question. Write a C program to accept two integers and check if they are equal or not. So now you want to write a C program that takes two integers, check whether they are equal or not. And so let's open up a file, p11.c. So we have defined the main block. Now we want to take in two integers as input and check if they are equal or not. So are you guys familiar with the scanf statement? In the previous session, I explained how to take user inputs from the terminal from the user. So I can declare two variables x and y. Yeah. Now I want to assign values to this. So we can use the scanf statement. So syntax is scanf. It is pretty much similar as printf with some minor differences. So in scanf, you pass in the character stream for the variable you want to take an input. So let's say I want to take an integer input. I will be using a format specified %d and then followed by the address of the variable in which you want to store the value. Fine. So now this ampersand operator is what it's doing. It is passing the address of the variable x. The ampersand operator passes the memory location of the variable x. Fine, everyone. Do you understand this? So now let's give a nice prompt to the user. Please enter the first value. Fine. Now I can do the same thing again for the second integer value. And in this time, I'm storing the value in the variable y. So I will be passing the address of the variable y. Now what I have to do? I have to check if they are equal or not. So I can simply use this if statement. If x equals to y. So what it does is basically it checks if x equals to y. If the condition is true, what I will be doing? Printf. The values entered are equal. Else, what I will be doing? I will be printing values are not equal. Fine, everyone. Do you have any doubts in this program? So in the last session itself, I explained how to use this scanf statement, and I explained how printf works. So what is this ampersand operator? It essentially returns the memory location of this variable x. So how to take input? Just specify the character stream with the format specifier for the input that you want to take. So I want to take integer input, so I specify %d here. Then again then pass the memory address where to the variable that will be storing the value. So that can be done by using the unary ampersand operator followed by the variable name. Same goes for the y. And then I simply check using the if statement. If the values are same, double equals to, check with the double equals to operator. And then, yeah, then. So let's go ahead and compile our program and then run it. So the first value, let's say 10, the second is 10. The values are equal. Now let's say if I say 10 and 11, the values are not equal. Fine, everyone. Do you get this program? Are you able to write? Are you able to write this? Will you be able to write this program on your own without my help? Great. So now 10 minutes are remaining. So I want to dedicate. So there are other practice problems also that you can solve on your own. I will be sharing this PDF document with the NPTEL team. Till then, if you have any queries related to any topics that were taught in this session or previous session, please type in the chat box. So someone want to see the hello world program. So let's see. So this one was the hello world program. You can see there is no terminator here. So I mean the books that you should be referring is the book shared by the NPTEL team on the NPTEL course itself. Fine. So someone is asking, is if necessary? I mean, for this. So if it's necessary here because you want a way to write this printf statement without using the terminator. So this is one way to do this. So whatever you pass in as the condition, that expression will be evaluated first. So that works here. Someone is saying I did not get the last class notes of the live session. So please contact the NPTEL team. They will be sharing those links with you guys. I am not sure how that is being done and if there is any communication gap with. Someone is asking, it is the only way. I mean, this is the way that I know of. You can find another if you feel is if it's present. So this is the way I know. You can search on the internet. So if you have any queries, you can type in the chat box or you can leave the session. So loops hasn't been taught yet, so I won't be covering there. I mean, you can use loop also, but it will be an infinite loop. No, you need something to break the loop. It can work, I guess. Let me see. Hmm. It will work. So you can use while loop also. Someone is asking for the last program, so let me open up that program. So this is the last program. Someone is asking difference between plus plus x and prefix and postfix increments. So basically, prefix increment says increment, then use the value, and postfix means uh, increment the use the value and then change it from the next line. Is there any curly bracket after x equals to y? Which program? Okay, this program. So no, I'm not using curly bracket here. Why? So basically, these curly brackets are used to define the blocks of a particular token. But let's say a function or a if statement, a particular statement, if statements or loops in C. Now, if you are not using curly brackets to define the section block of code, then what happens? Only one line just after this statement is considered to be present in the block. So that's so since I have to write execute only one line after this within the if this condition is true, I did not use any curly here. Fine. So anyone else, if you have any doubts, please we'll be considering those doubts in the next session. So time's up for this session. Thank you all. Someone is asking for question number 4. Yeah, I can show this. So this was question number 4. If you have any doubts, please go back to the video tutorial session again. It will be shared with you guys. So this is for you, so you can refer it. And thank you all. The session is over. Hmm.